Good morning, listeners. Gene Valdez here. My family and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, which is 5 days away. You know, unless you've been living in a cave, you would have missed all of the hullabaloo about the subject of artificial intelligence. It is everywhere, not only in advancements in technology, but now we have a soap opera in their boardroom. I'm sure you heard that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, was fired by the board, and then Microsoft hired him. What's going on? I don't know, but I don't get involved with all that stuff. So, I'm going to quote the LA Times. In October, President Biden, he signed an executive order on artificial intelligence that seeks to balance the needs of AI technology companies with a national security and consumer rights and privacy. The order created an early set of guardrails that could be fortified with future legislation. Several countries have adopted standards that are way ahead of the US, but I'm quite confident we will catch up. Further, in the article, and I'm going to read this, this is a quote from President Biden. AI is driving change at warp speed. It carries tremendous potential as well as perils. To maximize its potential and to avoid risk, we need to govern this technology. We need to keep it out of the scammers and criminals, which are everywhere. Leading developers of AI technology as of now include Google, Meta, Microsoft, and AI startups such as OpenAI or Anthropic. OpenAI, and I didn't know this because I'm not a techie, is the maker of Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is one of the many tools of AI. Today, my guest is Brian Kennedy, what I call the lovable Brian Kennedy, because he's got such an engaging personality. Someday you may meet him and you'll agree with me. Brian is a proud techie and the director of the Entrepreneur Ecosystem Program, which is part of Ampac Business Capital, a leading small business lending organization in Southern California. I asked Brian to be a guest because Brian uses GPT a lot in his job, and he's going to share with us basically the ABCs of GPT, and more importantly to you listeners, how you can use, even at the most elementary level, how you can use GPT to make your businesses healthier, be more efficient, and more productive. So welcome, Brian. How are you?
Oh, Gene, thank you so much. I'm doing great.
Wait, wait,
Appreciate you
wait,
asking.
wait. Hold on a second. How do I know it's really you and you're not a robot?
No! Gene, I can guarantee you, you have the human guarantee here. This is not a robot. I am alive and in the flesh,
Are
baby.
you sure? Because you
I
sound
appreciate the
in,
double check.
you sound intelligent, but is that artificial or is that real?
Gotta ask those questions nowadays, though. Oh man.
All right, Brian. Yeah, I got to kid around. I can't take this too
I love
serious.
it. I
So
love it.
give me a brain dump on Chat GPT. I mean, what it is,
Yeah.
how you use it, how the average
Yeah.
business owner could use it. Just do a bleh.
Absolutely, Gene. And one, thank you for having me on the show. I'm always grateful to be a part of this community that you're building. It really is a powerful thing. And you're very right, Gene. If you haven't heard of AI, you've definitely been living under a little bit of a rock. And so we're grateful to be continuing this conversation that is so timely and relevant as it pertains to artificial intelligence. I mean, it is everywhere. You've seen it at the White House level, obviously at the boardroom level. This open AI drama is getting crazier every day. I think it's up to like 705 out of like 770 employees that have signed on to a petition saying they will leave
Yeah.
OpenAI if they don't bring all of that. And it's
But
just
he's
like,
not coming
wow.
back. They rejected it.
Yeah. And
He's
that's what
staying
I'm
at
saying.
Microsoft.
Oh, what's the board going to be running? So, yeah.
I
But
think it's, the board of directors, I think it's spelled BORED, bored. They just need to do something because they're bored. They want to be in the news. So go ahead.
well, Gene, one thing that we're also paying attention to with this open AI theater, I'll say, is what's being covered up. What are they not trying to make sure people are seeing? And
Ah,
there,
ah,
there's a lot going on behind the scenes with artificial intelligence, specifically with OpenAI. There have been articles that have been showcasing some of the reasons Sam Altman was taken down from the CEO position. And those reasons are tied to how rapidly OpenAI is advancing within not only artificial intelligence, but AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is a higher speed of processing and capability for AI. And the Open AI board wanted to slow them down, which is why they
ah.
brought in the new CEO. And so there, when I tell you the advancements are here and coming better every day, it's so exciting. And I'm excited to share a couple of things that can help people kind of just get involved and
Yeah,
start, right? Because
yeah,
this stuff can be complex, it can be scary, it can be overwhelming. But one thing that I really like to communicate, just keep it simple
yeah.
and dive in. Like it's not going anywhere. It's just like the internet when it first came out, right? Just get on Chat GPT and just ask it a simple question. And that's where I recommend people start. That's how I recommend people get involved. Think of Chat GPT, think of AI as your personal assistant, right?
Okay,
Talk to
okay.
it like a personal assistant. Hey, ChatGPT, you are my email marketing specialist. Help me write this email to this group of people and watch it go to work. And when it
Really,
gives you, that's as simple as it is.
that's
Let it
amazing.
do what you're telling it to do. It's great stuff, Gene. It really is. And you can have a conversation with it like it is a person. So if it gives you a response, right, to your email marketing request, or your prompt, right, as it's called, once it gives you that prompt, you can respond to that prompt and tell it something else to do. Hey, make this more specific by including these types of words. Make it more viral by including hashtags, emojis, things that make it easier to read. There are a lot of ways you can use AI in a simple and easy to understand way. And that's what I like to start with in terms of how I encourage folks to get involved with using it.
But there are some limitations, though, Brian. So if I
Yeah.
ask Chat GPT to, how do I make my hair grow back? It probably would say, you're stuck, dude. Can't do it.
Well, I mean, ChatGPT, what I've learned is, and all the other AI tools, you mentioned a couple of great ones here, Gene. Anthropic has a really good tool called Claude AI. Google has a really good tool called Google Bard. But it will give you options. It will give you a response that gives you at least a starting point. So even if you ask it, right, hey, I'm going bald. What do I do? It'll give you products. It'll give you surgery options. It'll
Does
tell you
Rogaine
what is
really
out
work?
there. Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, really. Yeah, and you can ask it such specific questions like, "Hey, what are the case studies for Rogaine? What are the
Really?
good and bad reviews from Rogaine?" Yeah, and it'll search the internet and find those results. But one thing that you have to be intentional with is kind of the ethical side of what you're using it for.
Yeah,
How
I
do you
got it.
use it? Yeah, it's simple from that perspective, though. Think about real people, right? The
Yeah.
technology is an extension of real people. Real people built this tool, right? So use it in a way that you know will benefit the people around you and of course yourself. And if you could start with that, you'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I need to share a story with you, Brian. because once we communicated about a month ago that we were willing to be a guest, and I wanted to talk about, you know, Chat GPT. I was intrigued, and a couple of days ago, I was looking at the link I have to all of my podcasts, and it was kind of long. So I thought to myself, I wonder if there's a way to shrink my link so it's easier to see and easier to enter. And so I said, I'm going to go to Chat GPT. And I said, how do I shorten my link? And it sent me to bit.ly.
Yep, Bitly. Yep,
And
yep.
it gave me a new link. And now that's the one I'm using. And that was simple.
Yeah.
I feel empowered now.
Gene, excellent story, man. And you see, it's as simple as that. You have
It
a
was simple.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a thought. You have an idea. Like, hey, how can I do this? Oh, let me ask ChatGPT, and it gives you the answer. Oh, it's beautiful, man.
All right. So
Beautiful.
let's get to let's go to the turkey on Thanksgiving. No, not that. No, that's a bad analogy. Let's go to the heart of the matter. So, what are some simple things that an average business owner can do today to make their business better? And let me throw out some what ifs. Could Chat GPT give out information on their competition,
Yep.
on their market share is, what their pricing should be, where they should advertise on social media, how to retain employees, da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah. Blah, 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 right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
There's so many
it's
things. There's so many things.
there's and that's my short answer. There are so many things ChatGPT can't help your business with. Then I'm gonna go back to my previous statement. Whatever you can think about, it can help you. And to your point, Gene, every bullet point that you just noted, ChatGPT can definitely help you with. And any business owner who's listening, I highly recommend use it for the things you don't know too. Yeah, you know you need to work on your social media marketing. Ask it for best practices, right? But
Give
also,
me an example. Give me an example.
absolutely. And I go simple. Based on what type of business you're building, you can tell ChatGPT, tell me what I don't know as I'm trying to build a successful company. What should I
Ah,
be thinking about? It's
okay.
it
Okay.
helps you think outside of the box, which is so huge. Yes, it can help you do the simple things. How do I make my email marketing more effective? How do I do my 2024 planning more diligently? How do I make my business plan into a one-page smart goal sheet that I can synthesize? Because we have 40-page business plans that we never look at, right? We can take that 40-page business plan, put it into a Google Bard or a Chat GPT, and say, hey, make this into a one pager that I can read every day. Simple things like that, this tool can help you do. But what I'm continuing to encourage business owners within our ecosystem to do, ask it what you don't understand. Ask it what you don't know. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm building an entrepreneur ecosystem through a mobile app and through co-working spaces. What am I not thinking about as a founder and an owner? What should I be trying to do that my human brain hasn't figured out yet, right? Yes, I use that phrasing to go to that level of extreme, but use these tools the way they were built to help us. And
Yeah.
one thing that
Yeah.
I'm really trying to encourage now too, let it do analysis for you.
Give me an
So even
example. Give me an example.
absolutely let it do analysis for you. So for example, we're coming to year end, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's aiming, hopefully, business owners, right? You're aiming to do your year end reviews and do your next year planning. That review, yes, I'm putting my lender hat back on. That review should be of your numbers, should be of your tax return profitable income of your financial statements. You don't know how to do that? Okay, great. That's fine. Do you have bank statements? Do you know how to access bank statements? Yes, that's a starting point. Hey, Brian, I don't know anything about my numbers. Okay, that's all right. Can you download bank statements? Yes? Okay, great. Download bank statements. Put them in Google Bard. Put them in Chat GPT. Say, Chat GPT, Give me a financial analysis review of my performance of my business from this year. How
Oh,
did
I
my
love
business
that.
do?
I
Based on
love
my
that.
bank statements. Based on my bank statements, where should I be cutting expenses? Where should I be increasing my prices? How can I improve my profits based on the data of my business from this year? It's a
Okay.
great way to think outside the box for sure and help you with that
Okay.
analysis.
So let me put out my business coach. One of the business coach E's is you got to have KPIs. And
Yes.
KPIs, many people know, are key performance indicators. So let's say that you establish those in January of this year, and then you ask Chat GPT, how did I do on my KPIs? Or maybe you do it every quarter. How am I performing on my KPIs? Or are there some other KPIs that I'm not thinking about that I should include, which would be barometers of my financial condition? Is that possible?
Absolutely, Gene. I remember I was teaching one of my classes the other day, and I told my business owners because we were talking about credit and budgeting, right? Two pretty critical factors. And one of my business owners told me, "Hey, I don't know how to create a budget, and I don't want to just write on an Excel sheet. Is there any tool that can help me?" I said, "Absolutely." And I encouraged him, take your bank statements, put it in Google Bard, and tell Google Bard to create a budget for you based on your business's data. And so the analysis capability, the ability to create reports for you, you talked about market research. Absolutely. This is a great tool for market research. Hey, this is how much I charge for my product, ChatGPT. This is where my business is, but I'm an online business. I'm trying to be everywhere. How much are other companies within this industry charging for this product? How much are people within my
Wonderful.
industry charging for this service? Should I be adjusting my services? Here's my LinkedIn profile, ChatGPT. Here's my resume, ChatGPT. This is my experience. As a professional, what should I be charging based on my background and my expertise? There are so many ways
It's
that you
amazing.
it's
It's amazing.
amazing, but once again, Gene, I go back to this so much more intentionally now. It goes back to you as a human. This is just a tool, just like all the other tools that are out there. The human touch will never go anywhere, but how you embed your humanity, your ability to think critically, your ability to think outside of the box, how you embed that with these AI tools will greatly differentiate you from your competition and from the
Okay.
rest of the world.
All right, let me give you the litmus test here, Mr. Bryant, because you are definitely on a roll, dude. All right. So one of my most fundamental ideas, strategies, if you will, is that a business must have a crystal clear business model.
Yes.
And a business model is defined as basically how you win business from
Yes.
your competition. Could you go to Chat GPT and say, give me my two or three top competitors in my industry? I want you to outline their strengths and weaknesses. I want you to do the same for my company and tell me where they're vulnerable to attack and create my model around their weaknesses rather than taking them head on strength for strength. It's just guerrilla warfare. You hit
Yeah.
somebody where they're weak, not strong. As an
Yes.
example, let's say that you wanted to get into the fitness business and there was nobody that was doing 24 hours consecutively. That might be a weakness because there's a lot of people that like to work out that keep weird hours. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so there's your niche. Can they do
Right.
that?
Gene, absolutely. And another thing that I've been continuing to recommend when folks are using these tools like Google Bard, like Chat GPT, look at how your business can create what are called blue oceans. I was reading a book called
Blue
Blue Ocean
oceans,
Strategy.
okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because Gene, listen, and I'm going to break this down in a way that I know listeners can understand. What you were talking about there was how can I be better than my competition, right?
Exactly.
How can I play to my
Exactly.
competition's weaknesses? That's what's called the red ocean of war, of competition, right?
Yep.
The goal for especially as entrepreneurs, right? As innovators, as disruptors, as creators of solutions to problems, we should be looking for blue oceans. Blue oceans represent peace, tranquility. They represent a market that you've created. And because you've innovatively created this entirely new market, you
Right.
don't have competition because you own this market and you have created this market. So as you are looking at your business model, you need to be asking Chat GPT, Google Bard, Claude AI, how do I separate entirely from the competition and create my own market with what I do? There
Right.
are ways to really, really be intentional with how you create opportunity for yourself, even separate from your competitors. You can still do your competitive analysis. You can build your business model around the weaknesses of your competitors and really target those pain points of your competitors and your clients. Absolutely. But simultaneously, you can also be asking ChatGPT, asking Google Bard, asking Claude AI, where's the market not being fulfilled? Where's the problem not being solved? How
Yeah.
can I create a new market for myself as well?
Well, that's a great point. And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Uber and Lyft, they took on the yellow taxi company, the yellow cab taxi company. Anyway, they were the dominant um, entity in the transportation industry. Um, and maybe they didn't have the technology to access it, but they did come up with a business model that
Yes.
was different than the yellow taxi company, and they hit them. And even though I know Uber and Lyft are having some issues, they still were very successful. Um, can you imagine if they had that technology before they started? Maybe they didn't need it.
Wow.
I don't know for sure, but that just comes to mind that for so many years there was no Uber and Lyft. It just didn't
Yeah.
even exist. And now it's like, oh, I'll just Uber it. It's like part of our vernacular
Yeah.
now, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so keep going. I just want your
She,
opinions on the business owner using the technology.
yeah.
What do
Gene,
you
I
use
want
it
to,
for in your business?
oh,
The
absolutely.
most effective things you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to share that. And I want to piggyback on the point you just made about Uber and Lyft and yellow taxi cab. The Uber and Lyft in this exodus, this transformation of how we exist as it pertains to travel, they not only competed with yellow taxi cab, they created an entirely new market that
Oh,
was not accessible before.
absolutely. Young people,
Yeah. And
people
that
that
was
drank
through,
too much.
yes. Yeah. And just thinking through how they made that blue ocean, it
Yes.
came through our cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Everyone that has a smartphone now can get a car. You don't have to be in a particular, right? So always thinking innovatively like that is something that I use Chat GPT and Google Bard and Claude AI for. One example of something that I'm doing in my day-to-day work is contracts and grants and always trying to be ahead of innovation. One of the, excuse me, one of the programs that I'm using right now is Google Bard. I'm using it with a program that we've created here at the entrepreneur ecosystem called our Leap to Launch Entrepreneur Development Program. We've incubated business owners for about 18 months to support them in being more efficient and as well as knowing their numbers more intentionally. And one of my business owners asked a really good question at one of our cohort sessions because we've given them a lot of content and material and takeaways over the last 18 months. And he wanted to understand how he can synthesize that high level of data to be able to pick and pull what he needs when he needs it. And the recommendation I gave him, because we've given, let me see, it's been a little over 12 PDF articles, 3 PowerPoint presentations per session for 18 sessions. So it's over 100 documents worth of information that they've generated over the course of this cohort that we've put into a shared folder for them to have access to. And so what I recommended to him, you have all this good information. That's great. But how do you pull from it intentionally? You use Chat GPT and Google Bard. And so what I encouraged him to do, and I did it live, I did the demonstration myself. I took all the articles, all the PowerPoint decks, all the resources that we have given, and I put it into a Google Drive folder because Google Bard, because it's connected to the internet, similar to Chat GPT 4.0, it can read PDFs, it can read PowerPoint slides, it can read Word documents, it can read everything. And so there are components here that are really resourceful. So we put all the documents into a Google Drive folder. We put that Google Drive link into Google Bard and said, Google Bard, please analyze the content of this folder, which is 18 months worth of information, and break down what is here in a synthesized format. And it
Got it.
just gave me a breakdown of every document and what it was about in a way that was easy to see.
That is awesome. Let me shift gears a little bit, Brian. So let's just say at the very elementary level, I've got a listener out there that says, okay, I'm stoked, I'm fired up, I'm going to try this Chat GPT at the most elementary level. And then they like it and they want to get better at it. Is the educational journey getting better? Is that available through tutorials on Chat GPT? Do they have to hire a GPT consultant? How do they get better at it if they start in the beginning at the most elementary level and like it and want to say, okay, let's see what else I can do?
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do
Yeah.
you increase that learning curve?
Yeah. You ask the tool how to use it. I know.
That's simple.
I know. I've done that myself, Gene, because I've been thinking through, okay, am I using this thing the most effectively? Like I'll give it instructions and it's giving me a good response, but am I making it the most effective it can be? And so I said, Google Bard, I gave you this prompt, and this is in the live demo I was just referencing where I gave it the link and I said, give me the contents of the folder. I said, Google Bard, was this a most effective way to use you? Tell me how I
Interesting.
can use you more effectively in achieving this
Ah.
purpose. And it said, this is how you need to write the prompt. And this is how you need to give me the information so I can give it back to you the way you want.
I
And I was
love
like,
that. That just
that
that's
is so easy. Perfect. Thank you, Google Bard. Okay. Here's the prompt that you asked for. Now give me what I need in the format that I designed.
oh,
It's
that,
awesome. It's
that
awesome.
that is great. So a non-techie like me would do what you I will listen to you what you just told me and I say it's the Chat GPT. I've been using you for a while and I think I'm scratching the surface. This is what I do for a living, my business. So how else can I use you? And that's
Yes.
simple, right?
It's that simple.
Let's go get a coffee.
Yeah.
Uh, that is
Good stuff.
hilarious.
Good
All
stuff.
right. So, do you have any success stories of businesses that you were, let's say, not using the technology? You showed them, and now they are doing better, and they've come back to you and say, "Hey, Brian, thank you so much for introducing me to ChatGPT. I'm now doing this, and I never thought I would." Do you have a
Yeah.
success story?
Yeah. I do. I do. So
This is not
within
a
our
setup.
no, no. It is not a setup, but I this is a story I love sharing because within one of our incubator cohorts, one of my business owners was asking me to help them solve a problem of increasing their reach because they are a product-based business. They're trying to get into 5 new stores, right? And so I said, okay, have you been using the AI tools I've been telling you about to increase your reach? She said, well, no, I haven't really understood how. And I was like, okay, did you ask the AI tool how to use it to help you increase your reach? She said, well, no, I didn't think of that. I said, okay, I'm not going to tell you anything else. I'm going to push you to learn. Tell me how it goes. She came back to me next month. She said she got 2 new stores
Oh
on
my
that
gosh.
months of outreach because of how she got emails. She found email lists for free by using Google Bard. She found the best copywriting information from Chat GPT. She was able to redefine her images. She was able to put her image of her product into the AI tool and it make it more viral. It gave it captions, it made it pop. And I was just like, you just took a picture of this product. It was a candle on your phone and put this into the AI tool and said, make it presentable for people to want to buy it. And she said, yes. And she used that
Wow.
in her email, and it got her 2 bites. And I'm just like, that's so cool. You like, and she's continuing to do it, and she's continuing to get more success. Man, yeah. And I have a couple more like that, but that was one that was very recent that I was just over the moon about.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's
I
awesome to
can't,
see.
I can't take this anymore, Brian. I mean, I just can't. I feel like I'm now 30, ready to conquer the world. I just got a new tool,
Oh, baby.
but I'm not 30, so I'm not even going to tell you how old I am because I certainly don't look it. I know that.
You're not.
So, Brian, let's do this. You tell me maybe 3 bullet points of what you want my listeners to take from today's show. The 3 most important points, and there may be more, but three
Yeah.
is always like a cool number. So give me your
Yeah.
top 3 takeaways that you're in front of 5,000 business owners, and this is your takeaway for today's show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you all three simple ones. Who you are, who your company is, right? You can refine this with Chat GPT. Think about, oh, an elevator pitch, how I present myself in the business marketplace. Let Chat GPT help you with understanding who you are as an owner and who your company is and what it does. Two, let Chat GPT help you review your growth. Where's your company been in the last month, the last year? Let it help you analyze your business performance. And then three, let it help you plan for the future. Where are you trying to be at the end of 2024? Let it help you create that smart, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time bound. Let it create those smart goals for you so that your 2024 is successful and effective because you've gotten help planning it out. These are three simple bullet points. Let ChatGPT, let Google Bard, let Claude AI, let these AI tools help you understand who you are, who your company is, where your company has been in the past and how it's performed, and the best practices for how you can optimize the performance of your business. And then let it help you plan for the future and how you can grow from today. Those are my three takeaway points that I would like to take away from today.
That's really good, Brian. So, let me ask you a final question because I know you've
Sure.
got time commitments. Um, so the AI technology obviously is moving at rapid speed. What do you see that AI could be capable of maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, that they're not already doing? Is there any advancement room? And then I have a second question. So answer that one first, then I'll give you the second question.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah. So AI is moving fast. You're 100% spot on. And Gene, this is the funniest part. I can't even imagine where AI will be in 6 months from what
Well,
we're
we know
hearing
they can drive a
today.
car, right? We know you can drive a car, right?
Correct. And so I'll give this. Yeah, because that's true. There are completely autonomous Ubers, right, that can pick you up and drop you off. That's already here. That's today. In 6 months, we could easily see artificial intelligence across all of our systems, from our emails, our text messages, our Facebook posts, our calendar, right? Think of your phone, think of your computer, think of anything you do that's technologically tied as having AI embedded in it.
Yes.
Suggested text response as you're going to text your mom back, and it suggests a text response based on all the texts you've sent out over the course of your time having a phone, because it learned you and it learned how you type, and it may automatically generate a response to a text message that you're looking at. That is a small factor of where AI could potentially be in 6 months. And the other side is that AI is also very closely tied to robotics and automation. So as we're seeing software develop, hardware is also developing too. So you think about like Star Wars,
Yeah.
R2D2 having a
Yeah.
robot that like is smart enough to understand who you are, what you're doing, and what you need. That is on the horizon, and I believe it will be here a little sooner than we anticipate. 6 months. I could see us very heavily, especially with OpenAI's advancements here. We could be heavily into artificial general intelligence, which is AI operating autonomously and supporting us with a level of intelligence that we haven't experienced before.
Wow. All right. So final question, then we'll wrap it up. And maybe you don't have the numbers, but give me your best guesstimate. What percentage of, and I'm not even not talking about personal use, let's just say business use. What percentage of businesses would you say are using the Chat GPT technology, like sort of like a market penetration basis? What percentage would you say?
Yeah. Yeah, and I had typed this into Google Bard not too long ago, and what I saw, and I'll confirm, kind of as I'm speaking here, because when you're looking at business owners that are using the Chat GPTs, the Google Bards, the Anthropics, the Claude AIs, there are a lot of tools out there, and so one thing that is relevant is business owners are using it. One.
But how
And
much?
two,
But how many, Brian? Is it
yeah,
50%, 20%, 30%,
yeah,
10%? What do you think?
yeah. And so I'll break it down in um, two percentages. So I'll break it down based on the USA and the world. So
Okay.
for business owners that are in the USA using AI tools, excuse me, we're looking at about 30 or 58% in the United States. Um, So globally, we're looking at about 35%. And
Okay.
or excuse me, not 58% for the US, 25% for the US. Business owners are using AI tools. For the globe, about 35%. But other countries have percentages like 58%. Like companies like China, business owners are using it at a much accelerated rate. So US, 25% of business owners are using it. So 1 in 4. And so if you're already using ChatGPT, Google Bard, Anthropic, these AI tools, you're ahead about 75% of the United States business owners and ahead of about 60% of the world's business owners. So if you're using this stuff, you're in a good spot. If
Yeah.
you aren't, this is really where you want to get ahead.
Yeah. That's my point. Okay. So 75% of businesses in America are not using the technology yet, but they're going to jump on the bandwagon soon. They
Yeah.
have to. So, all
Right.
right. Brian, you were awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank
I
you,
will
Gene.
leave your contact information on my show notes. And if anybody has a question, I'm sure that you would take their call. So, with that, I'd just like to say thank you very much. I learned a lot. And you have a great day, young man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you for having me on the show, Gene. Have a great day as well, sir.
My pleasure. So, before we wrap it up, I'd just like to extend a big thanks to my corporate donors, which includes the Inland Empire Center for Entrepreneurship, California State University San Bernardino, the Small Business Development Corporation of Orange County and the IE, Desmond and Lewis, a full-service marketing firm based in Redlands, California. If you like today's show, please give me a good rating and review on either the podcast or YouTube platforms that you utilize to access my shows. Anyway, Merry Christmas again, as I said in the beginning. Talk to you in 2 weeks and peace and out. Bye bye.
This has been CEO to Rainmaker with Gene Valdez. To find out more, like us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. If you have questions, email the show. Find that link and others in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and join us again next time.